lobster crew inside. As we roll on a Monday morning. Okay. Pouring out the coffee, firing up the memes. Listen, listen, listen. Rolling with the lobsters, moving with the lobsters. Hold tight to man Wesley Snips inside the ride. Naughty little new bit of caliber. Meow.
Don't forget, kid.
Whoa, what's going on there? Oh no. This is a terrible way to start a Monday morning. I've accidentally replaced the lobsters sample with something else. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. But the show must go on. The show must go on. You awake. It's cold, and the mist is sat thick on the moors. It's 1782, and today is the day you meet your doom. Sentenced to death for a crime you did not commit. But you've come to terms with your fate, and you'll go out with your head held high. The guards open the door, and with a bag over your head, you're led down to the gallows. A crowd awaits, all jeering and throwing fruit and heckling. Someone's thrown a Todd. Someone's thrown a tantrum. It's anarchy out there. It's the last days of Rome. It's post-Brexit apocalypse. They lead you up the steps and to below the noose. Gary Hardwell McLobsters, you have been convicted of a terribly heinous crime. Convicted of seducing one of the king's swans and attempting to bugger it in the dead of night. That swan had stitched you up good. But you had to laugh. It was your fault for falling in love with that long-necked beauty and getting honey-trapped once again. The hangman gives the word and you drop through the floor, breaking your neck, and everything goes dark. Just dark, cold nothingness. No space, no time, no nothing. But what's that? Is that a tiny speck of light in the distance? You sort of move towards it. It gets bigger, it gets brighter. What is it? Is that heaven? Is that God? Is it Muhammad? Is it Jah? Is it Jehovah? Is it the land of milk and honey? Is it paradise? No, it's better than that. That's right, motherfuckers. It's coffee and memes.
Steady job and a couple extra
Lobsters.
That's all I want.
You're getting on, you're pushing 30, Sluggy. You know, it's time to think about getting some ambition.
Oh, I always figured I'd live a little bit longer without it.
Don't forget, kid, that what you're trying to do here is to be bright and chipper and entertaining and intelligent and sort of glitzy, and that's funny, and it's kind of cool, and it's interesting, and it's edgy, and all of that. It puts that facade of momentary charisma on you, and if you don't play that out, you actually fail. The lobster patriarchy
has many of the top memes, many of the top memes, many of the top memes.
The lobster patriarchy
has many of the top memes.
And that is so true that it's almost unbelievable.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Coffee and Memes on this day, December the 3rd, 2018, the Chinese Year of the Chin Swinger. Whoo-wee! We up in this motherfucker.
Smoke weed every day.
Oh, that didn't work, did it? Why? Although it's there, it's just not making any noise.
Smoke weed every day.
Forget it. Just forget it. Go away, Snoop. Yep. No, that doesn't make any noise either. Nothing, just doesn't mean anything anymore. Forget it. Just forget it. Today is not going, it's not starting off the way I intended. The lobster sample has just gone on holiday, I guess. It's given up and gone home. Fine, it's gone to clean its room, I guess. Maybe. Who fucking knows? Look, Jesus, we've had a whole weekend of madness in the news. There's all sorts of wild, inconsequential catastrophes that are going on, and we'll get to some of those later. Got some good bits locked in the chamber in terms of flip-flop flingers. Got a new bit by Sust that they sent over to me, which is nice. Bit of classic Black Sun Empire. Had that bit of Caliber. That was called Dark Paths at the beginning. Yes, nothing like a bit of Caliber first thing on a Monday morning. I thought I'd play this by Kirill, because I haven't played it in a few weeks. Don't even know why. Got some other bits and pieces, there's just stuff. Going to play a few classics. Going to play some, strong narrative, some strong protagonists. Go through, everyone, experiences something. Always better for the journey at the end. Right, what else have we got in terms of silliness? Grandad, banned from the US for accidentally ticking terrorist on form. Bringing home the bacon could be banned to stop upsetting vegans. Richard Hartley Parkinson reports. Secretary fired for slapping boy 15 who had become disruptive in class. Give him another slap, I say. NASA killjoys say we'll never see Elon Musk smoking weed on the internet again. Fuck off, Jasper Hamill. I'm not in the mood for your antics on Monday morning. Canadian guys. Jesus, Claire Reid, second word of the headline of this, and there's a typo. Canadian guy says his cow is even bigger than Knickers. Well, we'll see about that. Okay, now I'm overly protective of Knickers. I love him. I think he's a good boy. Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin, has mysteriously resurfaced to deliver a cryptic message. Drunk motorist pulled over by police after driving BMW on motorway with just 2 wheels. Yes, but before we get into that, I do have a couple of options for you today. 3 options: Andy C in a tree, Brian G out to sea, or Kenny Ken with a hen. So do let me know by the end of the show which one of those you fancy. Yeah, right. Well, look, let's get on with it. What should we have here? Let's have this Sust bit. It's nice. It's called My Plan. It's off the Tear Their World Apart EP. How are we doing in the chat, everyone? Let me know how your weekends have been. What have you been up to? You been out campaigning for a second referendum? Out campaigning for a hard Brexit? Tell me. Temmie2K11 in the chat says, got any new JP ad-libs from the new Joe Rogan podcast? There are a few bits that I need to get sampled. There's a bit with him laughing about lobsters, which I do need to get in. That's a great fucking podcast, and if anyone's not listened to it yet, the last Patterson on Joe Rogan, very good. Sort your act out, bucko. This is My Plan by Sussed. Lovely little Monday morning nugget. Bit of news for you. Tomorrow I'll be joined on the show by none other than the shiny-faced boy himself, the Panacea. Woo! Gonna be talking all about everything, about life, about love, about passion, about reality. Are we living in a simulation? Are we all living inside a hollow and flat earth? Who knows? Part of the plan. Yes, indeed. That's My Plan by Sussed. It's out now. Grandad, banned from the US after accidentally ticking terrorist. On form. Silly, silly Grandad. Oh, what will Grandad do next? Oh, dearie me. In what might be the most outrageous case of should have gone to Specsavers, a Grandad's dream of visiting New York City is in tatters after he accidentally declared he was a terrorist on the US visa form. Hey, look, maybe he was a terrorist. Maybe he's a terrorist with a heart of gold. He's too honest for his own good. He's like, yeah, I'm doing a bit of terrorism. Yeah, I'm using violence for political means, but I'm upfront about it. I'm honest about it. I'm not trying to do it, in a clandestine fashion. I'm just, I'm going to come and do a bit of terrorism. Like, if you don't want to let me in, that's your prerogative. That's fine. I'm just going to come and just terrorize people. Maybe he's a militant vegan. Could be. There was a Leah Keith article in the, let's say New York Times, something like that, where she described vegans as the Hezbollah of vegetarians. John Stevenson, 70, and his wife Marion. Poor Marion. She suffered enough. Oh, God. The pictures of them, they're just like, they're the ultimate, like, miserable-looking people in local newspaper pictures. Bless them. Poor dickheads. I mean, it's much like, you can have much more sympathy for them than those other ones that were like, we got stopped at the border and detained for 5 hours and then turned away. It's like, yeah, it's because you didn't declare your arrest for money laundering that you had a few years ago, and you were wearing a fucking Affliction t-shirt. Here they are. Oh, bless them. Bless them. They were holding up their passports. They're probably razzed off because their passports aren't blue passports. Like, bring us back our blue passports. Oh, dear. What have I done there? I've moved something. Oh, that'll do it. Oh, forget it. Oh, God. Where's Big Bopper the Whopper? There he is. Woo! Oh, no, he's in the background. Forget it. Anyway, here they are. Come on, let's just move them out of the way a little bit. Cool. John Stevenson, 70, his wife Marion, 71, had their holiday all planned out, having spent a whopping £2,000 on accommodation and flights, which were headed to America on the 3rd of December. But poor John, a taxi driver by trade, mistakenly clicked the wrong box on his ESTA visa form, and now looks like the whole thing is ruined. John said, I even called Border Patrol in the I even called Border Control in the US and gave them my passport details. They looked up my ESTA number and said, you're a terrorist. I told them I was 70 years old and didn't even recognise what that means and that. Why even is a terrorist and that? Just some bastard I don't even know. It's the biggest nightmare we've ever had, quite frankly. My phone could be getting tapped, you know. And what have you got to hide? Eh, John? If you're so squeaky clean, eh? Hey, John, what you got to hide? Bricks don't roll. Marion, 71, added, we were meant to be going away on December 3rd, and that leak. It's terribly shocking and so stupid. I can't believe that he's so bloody stupid. He's always messing things up. He cannot bring us to orgasm. He can't even barely get it up sometimes. And now he's ruining our holiday that we've been saving up for 30 fucking years. Ah, you bastard. Oh, he sounds a little bit too much like, what's his name, off of Atletico Mince's wife, the one who's always after eggs. The old footballer. I can't remember his name now. Anyway, Marion, 71, added, we were meant to be going away on December 3rd. It's terrible, it's shocking, it's so stupid. I don't know why that question's on the form in the first place. To stop idiots like you. Oh, yeah, I mean, does anyone not, like, have they ever stopped an actual terrorist by just having them, like, foolishly tick the box? Like, reason for visit, terrorism. Are you a terrorist? Yes. We've got to hand it to Marion right there. The woman makes a good point. Surely no terrorist in the world would be stupid enough to tick the yes box. And it's people like John who have to deal with the fallout of this poorly positioned question. Look, if you're stupid enough to tick the terrorist box and not be a terrorist, I think that's even worse than being a terrorist and ticking the box. You idiot, John. You idiot. You idiot. Right now, Christmas is set to be cancelled for the couple. Why are they going to cancel Christmas as well? As in order to rectify the situation, they need to go to London embassy so that the London embassy so that John could be quizzed by officials. Bear in mind, they live in Scotland. Well, John, look, get it together, okay? John added, my wife and I have been to New York and America before, but we've always wanted to see the sights in that lake. It's just witter on nonsense, isn't it? My wife's form came back and it was all fine, but she hadn't ticked the box saying she was a terrorist, so I guess that made sense in that. I'm devastated. I've never been in trouble in my life. I'll just drive a taxi, murder some prostitutes, and everything's fine. Oh, John, stop it. Oh, sorry, I was only joking. You're ridiculous. Okay, bringing home the bacon could be banned to stop upsetting vegans. Right, look, again, I will say, I like to get triggered by, vegans being stupid, but this is obviously clickbait. Like, no one's banning saying bring home the bacon. It's some twat has said, like, well, maybe we're going to have to stop using that sort of thing because vegans are going to get upset. And Hartley Parkinson of the Metro has extrapolated that the authoritarian government are going to start banning the use of stuff. I mean, it's possible. It's a slippery slope. Bringing home the bacon could be banned to stop upsetting vegans. If you like to kill two birds with one stone, hold your horse because you may just open up a can of worms. An academic, quote unquote, has said that the phrases used in this intro could be culled as vegan lifestyle grows in popularity. So, Swansea University research, Ciarán R said, if veganism forces us to confront the reality of food's origins, then this increased awareness will undoubtedly be reflected in our language and literature. The increased awareness of vegan issues will filter through consciousness to produce new modes of expression. Before you start shouting "Stone the crows" and believe Dr. Hamzar is flogging a dead horse, you may be wrong. Animal rights charity PETA has already been pushing for harm-free alternatives for some time and has a list of suggestions that people could use so as not to cause offence to vegans, horses, eggs or guinea pigs. I think we should eat vegans. I think that's... I mean, there's not a lot of meat on them generally. But, you know, why not? That would be... Then we could sustain the planet much better because the population would come down. You know, we'd have a nice, good source of protein. Make a nice bone broth out of them. Dr. Hamza wrote on academic website, The Conversation, the image of killing two birds with one stone is, if anything, made more powerful by the animal-friendly alternative, feeding two birds with one scone.
Communist detected.
Christ. What other suggestions have we got? Bring home the bacon could be replaced by bring home the bagels. Let the cat out of the bag could be replaced by spill the beans. All your eggs in one basket could be replaced by all your berries in one bowl. Open a can of worms. Open Pandora's box. Flog a dead horse could be feed a fed horse. Hold your horses could be hold the phone. Killing two birds with one stone. Feeding two birds with one scone. The mass production of vegetables and other monocrops kills roughly 4.5 billion animals a year, but the vegans don't mention that. Oh, how about that? Peter says on its website, while these phrases may seem harmless, they can carry meaning. Oh, fuck off, Peter. Jesus Christ. Just get on with some actual work, like, you know, killing the healthy dogs you have in your dogs' homes that you like to just massacre for fun. Anyway, secretary fired for slapping boy. 15 who had become disruptive in class. A secretary who was convicted of assaulting a pupil is appealing against her conviction. Oh, she's got a face on her like she'd slap a pupil. I'm quite worried she's going to jump out the screen and slap me. Oh, look, those two bastards are still up on the screen. Can't get rid of the terrorists. There they're gone. Jane Farmer, 56, was trying to help a female teacher with the boy when he became unruly and disruptive in class. She said he looked unsteady on his feet as she walked with him to the teacher's office. She said she put her arm out to stop him hurting himself, but colleagues told a trial that she had slapped the boy's upper arm with the back of her hand. Wow, yeah, harsh stuff. When the boy went to see the school nurse, there were no visible marks or injuries. Farmer was sacked from the school. Man, it's tough to sack teachers. That's it's impressive work. Farmer was sacked from... Oh, she's not a teacher, she's a secretary. Farmer was sacked from the school and was told she would never work with children again, despite a 12-year unblemished career. She was also made to carry out 100 hours of community service. God, if you... I mean, either way, if it was a little slap or an accident, God, you would be so bitter for every one of those 100 hours. She was also made to carry out 100 hours of community service by Southampton's magistrate court following the incident on January the 22nd. Prosecutor Ryan, something or other, said, Harry, the young man was a special education needs classroom. He was asked to leave because he was being disruptive and disturbing the class. Mrs. Farmer shouted at him to get in the teacher's office, and as she walked through the door, he slapped him in the right arm. Well, there's two sides to every story, isn't there? Maybe she's a complete bastard. Maybe she's a thug, she's a villain, she's a rogue, she's a renegade cop. She's, you know, one strike away from suspension. She's got a drink problem. The kids don't want to know her. But she just wants to take down Mendoza at whatever cost, you know. And if she has to die in the process, she's okay with that. Right. Look. Anyway, let's play Anomaly by Noiser. That's a bit fun, isn't it? Chode Rider. 100 hours. X got less for kicking a copper in the nuts. I got more for pingers. George Fowler in the chat. You're damn right. Yeah, I think the voice does sound a bit more like Peter Beardsley's wife on the Atletico Mints podcast, though.
Come on, Peter, you little fucking creep. Make us a couple of boilers. And make sure they're very fucking runny.
Anomaly there by a new little three-piece out of Groningen, Netherlands. They're called Noisia. I think they're going to be pretty big this summer. That's their infectious anthem, Anomaly, off their Outer Edges album. Very good boys. Very, 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 very good boys. World's first oral sex robot ready to go after hitting 5,000%. Oh, sorry, 500% of crowdfunding target. This is the Autoblow AI that we have covered already on Coffee and Memes, obviously. New technology is forever being introduced to the world, usually with the intention of enhancing the quality of our lives. So obviously the next thing to get the go-ahead is the world's first oral sex robot. The campaign to bring Autoblow AI into being has been incredibly successful, raising almost £250,000, which is 500% more than the company's target. Of course it did. The machine is the world's first oral sex simulator that is capable of using artificial intelligence to teach itself to improve its performance. Again, of course it is. Hey, humans can do that as well. Like, you know, if you just offer a little bit of advice, you know, tell your loved one how you like it. Too toothy, not toothy enough, you know. They can adjust their technique as well. Conversation, you know, just Coffee and Memes to be about conversation. Just about, you know, really opening up a dialogue between your lover, between you and your lover. Just really a safe space of just back and forth dialogue with no shame, no stigma attached to just how you want your dick sucked. Whether or not it's a fella in your life, or a lass in your life, or an other in your life. Just let them know, you know, just who you like it done. The machine is the word. We spent the last 3 years listening to feedback from our 200,000 Autoblow 2 owners, and in response built a new machine that that mechanically better replicates the gliding and friction combined in the mouth and hand that men experience during oral sex, explained the device's inventor and former lawyer, Brian Sloan. Got a picture of Big Brian here. He looks much as you would expect, I guess. He just looks a bit sort of creepy. There he is. Yeah. As someone who has had that exact moustache in the past, I will say that it does you very few favours. Oh, come on. Really? Phone's off on set. That's a sales call. Christ on a bike. Look, listen, Brian. Come on, you teabag. Down you go. Look at the size of that thing, though. I thought it was about the size of a vape, but it's not. It's enormous. That's I mean, I have seen some vapes that big, but yeah, I mean, yeah, you could stick another vape sort of pipe on the other end, and then you're sorted. Really, you're sort of good to go at that point. All right. Well, he claimed the device was more human than any competitors on the market, including its predecessor, the non-AI sex toy called the Autoblow 2. He said, by using artificial intelligence for the first time and understands the mechanics of blowjobs, we discovered and replicated techniques that make using our machine feel less robotic and more human when it's sucking you off. Right, okay, good. The actual Autoblow AI is highly technical, very highly technical, okay, Lab Bible, containing intelligence similar to that found in a smartphone. It comes fully equipped with a flesh-like sleeve and a 5-inch long stroking plane that is manipulated by infrared sensors. Along with a more human aspect, it also features 10 different modes. From full stroke to 3 a.m. beasting. 3 a.m. pilled up beasting. From drift gently off to sleep to beating one's meat like a red-headed stepchild. Probably can't say that anymore. Thanks, vegans. If it sounds pretty appealing, bear in mind that the device does not come cheap. 200 quid. That's not that bad, is it? And if that doesn't put you off, the next bit might. For the Autoblow AI to work, it needs to be plugged into a socket. Just put that in perspective for a moment, guys. You're putting your favourite toy into a device that is connected to the main source of electricity. Hope that doesn't come as a shock to you. Although they reached the target 5 times over, the company doesn't expect deliveries until May 2019. Lads, beware, okay? May 2019. So probably don't get your hopes up for Christmas. The comments are, as you might imagine, girls saying, ha ha, stupid, lonely men. Men saying, you've had dildos for years, you're probably lonely too. And it just sort of goes back and forth from there, really. Anyway, Jasper Hamill of the Metro, my arch nemesis, who can't put an article together without a typo in every line, says, NASA, killjoys, say that we'll never see Elon Musk smoking weed on the internet again. That would be truly sad. I feel like the world took a more positive change. I feel like waking up the day after watching Elon Musk on Joe Rogan's podcast, honking the reefer, honking the ganja, romping with a flamethrower, and just saying what the world needs. It's a little bit more love. I think that was a real watershed moment for the human race. Now, a joyless NASA administrator has said the world will not be seeing the billionaire blazing spliffs ever again. Jim Bridenstine has lectured Musk about why getting stoned online is not appropriate behaviour, and has managed to get the free-thinking tech mogul to promise to be a good boy. I will tell you that was not helpful, and that did not inspire confidence, and the leaders of these organisations need to take that as an example of what to do when you lead an organisation that is going to launch American astronauts. Bridenstine told reporters, according to The Atlantic. While it's perfectly legal to smoke weed in California, it's still frowned upon by the stuffy suits who run things. According to the report in the Washington Post, Musk's Sensimelia session God, Jasper Hamill trying to sound cool. Prompted tough action. What are you going to call it next? The wacky backy? In an interview with the paper, Jasper Hamill is a bit like that meme of Steve Buscemi when he's like dressed up as a skater, and he's like, "Hey, fellow kids." Jasper Hamill's like, "Anybody want to smoke a drug reefer with me? I ride for the Metro. I fucking hate sharks." I can't write an article without a typo. Yeah. Yeah, don't know how much more enjoyment is to be gleaned out of this. I think it's a sad time for us all. I think, you know, as we head towards the Brexit apocalypse, watching tech moguls smoke ganja and take drugs in general is, you know, is going to be like a little digital holiday. Like if we could get Bezos on Meow Meow, Larry Page on DMT, Peter Diamandis on Pingers. I think the world would be a better place. I just think it would be a lot of fun. Maybe it could be a regular TV show. Could be. It's probably a web series, isn't it? You know, I don't think that's the sort of thing that's going to get to Channel 4. Sweary Parrot calls Trump a wanker. Okay. Shocking moment, rental truck explodes. Oh dear. Tony Blair campaigns for a second vote on Brexit. Blair, no one cares what you think. Even people that want a second vote on Brexit. Stop. You're poisoning the water. Go away. We do not need your help. What other fucking sandal slings we got in it? Hey, look, it is a bit fun. Look, let's play Marker and we'll get Big Bopper the Whopper on the mic. Right, go away, man with bloody wanking machine. It's got one of them machines that shags you.
Stinky the Isibiyaki that rum and the marijuana. Step in a minute, can swim with the piranha. Anytime he drop me, go put on a marker. If it no money, say where them bad attack for. Them a try to hold up a bank with a banana. Yeah, we pretty whole thing panorama. Holy pa gun time to the baby one no drama. To the baby one. We a killer bubble again. Got the things unlocked again. Double take 10 shots and again. The pan old pants on them again. Man a dash them, I like them again. Become that iPad again. Man a ready for the war. If it comes on top, coming out feels frightened again. We a killer bubble again. Got the things unlocked again. Double take 10 shots and again. The pan old pants on them again. Man a dash them, I like them again.
Oh, he's frozen.
Man a ready for the war. If it comes on top, coming out feels frightened again. We a killer bubble again. Got the things unlocked again. Double take 10 shots and again. The pan old pants on them again. Man a dash them, I like them again. Become that iPad again. Man, I'm ready for the war. If it comes on top, coming out, feel frightened again. We a killer, but block again. Got the things unlocked again. Double take 10 shots and again. The one up old pants on them again. Man, I dash them, I like them again. Cover that iPad again. Man, I'm ready for the war. If it comes on top, coming out, feel frightened again.
Hey, Monkey Z in the chat saying, is that blowjob machine going to be better than his milking machine from Mothercare? Is that a thing? Does that, just asking for a friend. Is that, does that work? Is it any good? Chide Rider saying, will hookers fight back against the rise of sex machines? It's possible, isn't it? I mean, that's a B movie I'd like to see. Hookers versus sex robots. There will be only one. Made by the people who brought you Sharknado and Cockneys versus Zombies.
Stinking the issy, Miyaki, that rum and the marijuana. Step in a minute, can swim with the piranha. Anytime he drop me, go put on a marker. If it no money, say where them bad attack for. Them we try to hold up a bank with a banana. Yeah, we free the whole thing panorama. Holy for gun time to the biddy one no drama. To the biddy one no drama. Drama. Stinking the issy, Miyaki, that rum and the marijuana. Step in a minute, can swim with the piranha. Anytime he drop me, go put on a marker. If it no money, say where them bad attack for. Them we try to hold up a bank with a banana. Yeah, we free the whole thing.
Demogorphic collect me, take away in my pajamas.
We a killer bubble crack again. Got the things unlocked and again. Never take 10 shots and again. The pan old pants on them again. Man, I dash never like them again. Recover that iPad again. Man, I'm ready for the war. If it comes on top, coming out, feel frightened again. We a killer bubble crack again. Got the things unlocked and again. Never take 10 shots and again. The pan old pants on them again. Man, I dash never like them again. Recover that iPad again. Man, I'm ready for the war. If it comes on top, coming out, feel frightened again.
Dub physics and strategy marker. Woo-wee. Oh, the iPad's going to run out of batteries. And that's it. Sort your act out. Yeah. Canadian guy says his cow is even bigger than Knickers. Well, it's a big old boy. I will tell you that. He is a big old boy. But is he as big as Knickers? That's what we want to find out. Remember Knickers, the giant cow who hit headlines earlier this week for being an absolute unit? You're goddamn right I do, Claire Reid from Lad Bible. Then it turned out that Knickers wasn't actually a cow, but a steer, a neutered bull. Well, now it turns out that as well as not being a cow, Knickers isn't the biggest steer out there. Step forward, Dozer. Look at this huge bastard. Right, come on, let's get Dozer up. He's a big old boy. He is a big old boy. I think he looks like a nice guy, gentle giant, and that, you know. Oh, yeah, they've got some sort of tape measure, as if that somehow legitimizes their measurements. I think they're just they're having a little pop at the Knickers throne, aren't they? Everyone wants a piece of the action now. They've seen how much attention that Knickers getting. Knickers is now the sort of unofficial darling of the internet. They're like, oh well, look, we've got a big old cow. Let's fucking get him up there. Anyway. Dozer, who lives in Kismet Creek Farm in Canada, is a whopping 6'5" tall. Ooh, it's a big boy. A couple of inches taller than Knickers, who stands at 6'3". Owner Carl Schoenrock and his wife Rael told CBC that after seeing Knickers going viral, they wanted a piece of the action. They wanted to see how big Dozer was and found that he was actually taller. Well, look, there's no like cash prize or anything. Schoenrock told the news outlet, "We were kind of blown away. Eh? Nothing super official like Guinness official, but you know, that's not a Canadian accent. Sorry, I just can't even bother.
It's appalling.
Yeah, sorry, Patterson. We were kind of blown away. Nothing super official like Guinness official, but that's what we got." He wasn't on the flattest ground. I don't mind sharing the limelight. He wasn't on the flattest ground. I don't mind sharing that. Well, look, whatever. Adding, when I first saw him, I was giddy. He's just so massive. His head is so huge compared to anything I've seen before. Oh, he's amazing. I love him. I want to marry him, but sadly, Canada does not have laws for men marrying cows, even gigantic ones. People are saying that it's a bit weird, but the guy seems happy and he's not hurting anyone. And just like his Aussie contemporary, Dozer is also too big to be slaughtered and was rescued from a beef farm. He now lives in Kismet Creek Farm, an animal sanctuary where he'll spend the rest of his life. According to his owners, Dozer is a gentle giant and enjoys little scratch behind the ear. Meanwhile, Knickers owner Jeff Pearson has slaughtered Knickers himself and is now selling the chops at an inflated price to fans of the massive cow. Knickers actually is going to live out his life peacefully in Western Australia, which is not real. Jeff reckons Knickers' genes are responsible for his incredible size. Speaking to the Daily Mail Australia, Pearson said, He was always a standout who stood above the rest, mate. He's an absolute sexual terrorist. You can tell by the look on his face, mate. He's a disgrace. We kept him because we thought he had potential to be a big old steer, but we never imagined he'd grow so fucking huge, mate. I hope those bastards trying to give the cops STDs don't come round and give him the fucking clap, mate, because he's a sexual terrorist. He's a disgrace, mate. Whenever you want to know where your cattle are, you just cast your eyes over the paddock and you can't miss the fucking bastard. That's a terrible Australian accent, but fine, you know, whatever. Similar to Dozer, Jess says that Niggers is also a pretty chilled guy. Well, that is lovely stuff, isn't it? Okay, Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin, has mysteriously resurfaced to deliver a cryptic message. The true... Oh, I could really use the lobster's bloody sample here, but... Oh, man, that's rough. Why can't I? Can't, because it's chopped out of a thing and it's just...
Get your act together.
Sorry. The true identity of Bitcoin's creator remains a mystery almost 10 years after the cryptocurrency was brought into being. Now, Satoshi Nakamoto has mysteriously resurfaced to deliver a cryptic one-word message.
Lobsters.
A profile on the peer-to-peer website belonging to the pseudonymous genius has been updated for the first time in several years. He posted a message containing the world... Oh, Jasper Hamill of the Metro. Oh dear, how much is that? Four sentences in? No, that should be word, not world. He posted a message containing the word Nor in quotation marks, which means light in Arabic. Okay. Fucking cryptic twat. Nakamoto also followed a man living in Brazil called Wagner Tamanaha, who describes himself as a cryptocurrency enthusiast. Looks like Satoshi's reappeared, and I'm being investigated, he tweeted. Right, Professor Craig Wright, a crypto entrepreneur, identified as the man behind the Satoshi mask, then wrote several tweets in Arabic, adding to the growing mystery. The light haunts the darkness. One message said, according to Google Translate, the light of the world in trade, Wright added. Well, I probably know even less about this than Jasper Hamill of the Metro, and that is saying something. I've long suspected that Wesley Snipes might be Satoshi Nakamoto, as he's sort of mysterious. Don't know, he's a few hundred years old, so lobsters basically just live forever, don't they? They just sort of regenerate stuff and just sort of crack on, and you know, just taking endless loads of piss in the face from loved ones, just generally climbing up and down the dominance hierarchy. Did you invent Bitcoin?
Smoking these meats.
Okay, good news. Right, let's have Caterpillar by Black Sun Empire. Worth loosening your loafers for this one, I would say.
Virus Syndicate, Black Sun Empire, state of mind. You got me feeling like a caterpillar, never been a butterfly. Spitting with a battered liver, liquored up and crooked eye. You might see a pack of killers coming at you looking high. Bats, knives, jacket, scissors running at you ducking dive. That's life, how I'm feeling when I'm fucking cocking rhymes. Bang rhymes, cooking, leaving while my dick and cut the tie. Gang signs, must have been mistaken for some other guy. I'm fine, see you motherfuckers on the other side.
Oh, you're very angry, Virus Syndicate. You chill out. Let's have a cup of tea or something.
I spit game, get paid, chain reaction, and I switch waves. Never see the same reaction till my click fades and the fucking game collapses. I'm a flip blade, come swinging chains and axes. I ain't bitch made. You man are fake, I'm plastic. You're a bit lame, but not you shady bastard. Looking quick fame, ain't no stage for actors. I'm a nightmare, a voice in your brain, play backwards. In the air, push your lighters up. Black Sun virus came through to rile them up. 2 gun fingers in the air, push your lighters up. Shoot them up, quick fire, reload, line them up. 2 gun fingers in the air, push your lighters up.
That's Caterpillar, Black Sun Empire, Virus Syndicate, State of Mind. Why not? Might as well.
Give me the mic and I'm a beast of nature. The rhymes are riot, setting fire to this piece of paper. I'm a heat creator with the power to unleash a greater force and a horde full of horses, transporting an army of demon corpses. I'm the reason that you're feeling nauseous. I'm the reason that your team is cautious. You're a heathen and you're being tortured. You don't belong on this earth, you should have been aborted. I'm the nightmare when you're dreaming and feeling awkward. I'm the shiver down your spinal column. My heart is hollow and my lies are solemn. Shit, I'm known for getting violent on them. I've got these voices in my head to try and shun them, but I think they've got me under the form and I'm scared I might become them. I'll find you late at night when you lay beside your woman. Know where you can try and run and know the place you hide your gun. I keep gunning and bunning them. I'm just having some fun with them. Look at what I've just done to them. I'm a hunter, I'm hunting them all down. Everybody fall down. It's my kingdom. Who told you it was your crown? Your crown. I'm in the writing zone, coming for the iron throne, living where the lions roam. Fuck it, you can die alone. Shoot 'em up, quick fire, reload, line 'em up. 2 gun fingers in the air, push your lighters up. Black Sun virus came through to rile 'em up. 2 gun fingers in the air, push your lighters up. Shoot 'em up, quick fire, reload, line 'em up. 2 gun fingers in the air, push your lighters up. Later mind virus came through to rile 'em up. 2 gun fingers in the air, push your lighters up. Lighters up. Lighters up. Lighters up. Push your lighters up.
Yeah, all the dancing gifs today on the stream. Joe Bright says, when's the last episode of Rankin's Records getting uploaded to iTunes? There was not one last week. I was supposed to be doing a podcast with Jaguar Skills, but we had to reschedule it. So that should hopefully be Wednesday for the Jaguar Skills podcast. Got Panacea tomorrow, and then Rankin Radio tomorrow evening, and then Jaguar Skills on Wednesday, Rankin's Records on Thursday. You'll be all rankined out by Friday. Yes, Caterpillar by Black Sun Empire, Virus Syndicate, and State of Mind. Where are we? What is Destroy Dick December? Ellen Scott from the Metro, known for taking internet jokes literally, reports. Happy 1st of December, one and all. Today is not just a momentous occasion for fans of Christmas music and anyone in possession of an advent calendar, but for all who partook in No Nut November. How did we do, guys? Did anyone make it to the end? No, Wesley Snipes was absolutely busting by the end of it. But yeah, on the 1st, he proudly let rip, and he is partaking in Destroy Dick December. Yes, today marks the end of a month spent with no orgasms, either through sex or with another person or masturbation. But every end is just a new beginning, and in the case of No Nut November, the beginning is Destroy Dick December. Don't worry, you don't need to have successfully completed No Nut November to be involved. There is no official governing body of penis-related challenges. And even if there were, unlike Father Christmas, they could not see you when you're sleeping, nor know when you are awake. Don't know if Bezos has got anything to do with it. He'll fucking know. The uninitiated may be wondering, what is Destroy Dick December? Why are you calling it Destroy Your Dick December? It's Destroy Dick December. Jesus Christ. Do not worry, sweet angels. We are here to explain. Like No Nut November, Destroy Dick December. Stop calling it Destroy Your Dick December. It's pathetic. Destroy Dick December is a month-long challenge related to orgasms and penis persuasion. Unlike No Nut November, it is not about restriction or the avoidance of temptation, but instead about abundance and celebration. Destroy Dick December is like the mashup of an advent calendar and the song 12 Days of Christmas, in that there is a daily treat, but each day you have to repeat what you enjoyed the previous day, by which this means on the first day of December you masturbate to completion once, on the second day twice, on the third day thrice, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I do reckon about 2 weeks in, you're going to have to take the rest of the month off work, because, yeah, I think I'll be trying to get mine in. I mean, I'm trying to get most of mine in before the show, just so I'm a bit more chilled. But I think after, when we're up to like the 10th or something, I might even have to have one mid-show. So, I mean, Wesley Snips could potentially take over the reins for, 30 or 40 seconds, whatever it takes. And I could just sort of blare it out. It'd be fine. We could all do it together. You're supposed to get your 21 in a month, aren't you? Anyway, Alan Scott continues to take internet jokes literally and manages to flesh it out into an entire article. It's even got sort of the counselling service relates as the symptoms of sex addiction are the... Oh, sweet Jesus. Anyway, look, it is the end of today's show. And what have we learnt? Wesley Snips?
Smoking these meats.
Good. To play us out, a little classic you might remember from days gone by. It's called This. It's by Kirill and Wasabi. It's out now on Critical. George Fowler, have we got Big Jim this week? Yes, tomorrow evening. Tomorrow evening.
What's your one? What's your one?
Thank you everyone who continues to support us on Patreon. Very, very good of you. We're very nearly at the goal of covering all the costs of the station. That's fucking fantastic of you all. I'm eternally grateful. You're all wonderful folk. If you want to get your name on the VIP list, you can head over to our Patreon page and support. You can support from $1 a month, and I will love you forever. The VIP list is as follows: Tom Ryan, Reece Mosson, Squidgy Beats, Parsons, Pauly Hutton, Ciarán R, Michael Kedzierski, Matthew Tomkins, Dave Long, Joel Putter, Colm Murphy, Sam Howard, Tony J, Richard Patterson, Jack Murphy, Tom Camm, Stephen Harris, Mattieu Boulard, Zara Pickles, Jeroen Van Thunderbutt, Mike Pye, Anthony Walker, Lily Unsub, Richard Franks and Thomas Hall. A fine bunch of bad motherfuckers. You can of course support in other ways, just by sharing the podcast or sharing the live stream. And telling your friends, your family, your loved ones, your social worker, your stepdad, those trapped in the sanitarium with you. Shout it out your bedroom window. Write it in the condensation on the bus window. Whisper it softly into a lover's ear before they climax. Give us a 5-star review on iTunes, that helps. Thank you kindly. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I will be back with the living legend, the panacea, to be talking about all things in the world ever. Imagine that. He's omnipresent. He don't give a fuck. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you continue to listen for the rest of the week and maybe even for the rest of eternity. I've got various good bits of news coming up. We'll have 2 new shows as of next week. which I will be announcing later in the week. So that's great. We've got a few more people coming on board to do shows. Going to be moving studios in between Christmas and New Year, and we'll hopefully be much better set up for other people to come in and do shows. Be more of a long table setup rather than frankly, it's all a bit of a mess in here. And I will be in a more respectable, a more convenient area of London for doing things like that. Start getting this threshold thing off the ground, start building the community that I want, start reaching out, do a few community things. In January will be the first of 3 events entitled Untangling Mental Health in Music, which will be 3 live podcasts at Hoxton Bar and Grill in Shoreditch in Hoxton Square, which tickets will be going on sale for that later this week. It's only 100 capacity for each show. The lineup so far will be myself, Killer Keller, Matt from the Freestylers, Tim Exile, Dylan King Cannibal, Killer Keller, and more to follow. It's going to be really good, and hopefully we can try and bring to light some of the issues that are facing, some of the mental health issues that are facing people in not only the music community, but I think in creative industries as a whole, because there are, plenty of creative industries, not just music, whereby people, I think one of the biggest issues is that people just spend too much time on their own. Like most people are naturally sociable, outgoing people, particularly if you're in an industry like music, if you like performing and all that stuff, to then spend 80% of your waking life on your own in a room with no windows, if you think about it, is a really, really bizarre thing to do. Working in a really weird, unstable hierarchy where you're not quite sure if anyone's playing the game properly or whether or not they're subverting it, and you don't know to what extent they're subverting it. And yeah, so we're going to try and tease apart some of those issues and try and work on some potential ways to mitigate the downsides of things, and to try and, create communities and to create positive outreach into the world. So, our tickets for that will be up later in the week, and I hope you'll all join me for a bit of fun. Right, I love you all. Don't let your memes be dreams. Increase the peace, decrease the grief, and I'll see you tomorrow.